Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age, at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe from concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm writing. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
You know, I'm still doing stunts. You know, and the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, you know, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go 13! Coming off the train! Go 13! Hey!
Finally, time to talk high school football for the 2025 season. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett, Grant Goodwin here. The NeuroGuard Plus 4A, 3A, 2A show called Sideline to Sideline here in the great state of Texas. And before we begin, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. A little tired. AC went out at the house yesterday, so had to take advantage of free rooms at the casino, so I had to get up extra early and drive in from the casino.
Oh, I thought y'all drove down and stayed at that Roach Hotel you stayed in that time where the Roaches were prepping your bed for you. Where was that, down in Needville or?
Navasota.
Navasota. I know somewhere. I can remember.
I think I'd rather sleep in the heat than there. Yeah, so it's a long night. The Goodwin household, that's for sure.
Oh, this is going to be a long day. We've just now started
back up there afterwards.
Yeah, you're going back up. Are you staying the whole weekend there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is already Saturday, so.
Well, I didn't know if you might as well take advantage, right? So if this is the first time you've ever come across Sideline to Sideline, I am Terry Bennett. That is Grant Goodwin, and we talk 4A, 3A, and 2A football here in the state of Texas. And what this is our Big Arse Preview Show, where we're going to cover every district in those three classes. We pick our district, we pick our playoff teams, we pick our region finalists, our semifinalists, and our state championships. We just have a lot of fun doing it. And these shows they're fun, but man, they're long. But I have learned that these are the shows that make us better in the regular season because...
Do they, though?
Okay, as good as we can be. Right. That's still better. And speaking of, we got Coach X, and Coach X will actually come up here in a second. And as you can tell, it's a little bit of a different set this year.
We're in a swanky now. You redid it. People can't see.
Yeah.
But the big monitors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a game changer with me. I'm going to have to use these glasses today, but in the regular season when we have all our run sheet and our notes up on the big monitor.
Yep, and we'll be
more of those.
We'll be putting some of those up at times like this. For these shows, we're going to do like we've been doing in the region show and the district show, where we just put up the regions with the district, so you can kind of walk along with us as we do that. But if you do not know Coach X, he is a real coach in the state of Texas. Finally, he had well, I mean, he keeps saying it. So I think
he's got a ring.
Yeah,
He's got 2 rings.
Whatever, dude. I got 4 rings I got from the gumball machine. I just played state champion on them. I think what he has done actually, though, is he is one of those that he has started a charter school, and he schedules invisible teams. What was that school a few years ago that was trying to play everybody across the nation? That's what he is now. But anyway, each and every week
on national TV.
On national TV and getting absolutely destroyed. You knew it was going to be crazy when, like, the right guard had a orange helmet and the left guard had like a lavender helmet and the quarterback didn't have a helmet. But no, anyway, so Coach X, he's a real coach here in the state of Texas. He likes to ride in and have a little fun. And so we're going to go ahead and start the show off with his diatribe. I thought it was going to be for the season, but apparently, okay, again, basically the same studio. We're in the same exact spot. We just changed the banner around, and we, instead of having a table here, we just put some stuff up on the wall. We've started our wall of hats. We want to get back into the goal of getting hats every time we go to a game, or if you'd like to send us one, let us know. We have a Gilmer hat coming, by the way. I appreciate that. We'll talk about that in the 3A show. But anyway, and so I decided to get back-to-back banners. We'll do the same thing without drawing the covers. That way we're both, it's called branding. Well, SI Designs, who does wonderful jobs, when I asked him to send me another banner, I accidentally sent him the wrong file. So there's this, remember that old thing in highlights, these 2 pictures are the exact same, but there's one mistake. And of course, when I showed the picture to Coach X of the new studio, he immediately caught the mistake. So this is what Coach X has to say. Let me see how this works. I got to see how I do this. All right, here we go. Guys, the new studio looks so great. Hey, and the new banner is so cool. In case you couldn't tell, I'm being sarcastic. There's one very important name left off the banner. That name is of a certain man with a certain title with the letter for a name. Starts with a coach, ends with an X. And we all know that X is the coolest of all letters. Yes, it is. And you know it, Terrence. I'm not arguing with you. Without the X, you would have no way to look inside of people.
X-ray.
Yes. Okay. Without the X, you'd never be able to find buried treasure. Without the X, you'd only have factors. That's my favorite one. Des Bryant, what would his touchdown celebration would have been back in the day with that? See, X, you helped Des Bryant create his touchdown celebration.
And you probably helped him with his financial situation.
And by the way, he wrote this for the other show, but we didn't have video, so that's why it says this line. So here we are on the toughest regions, toughest district show. Actually, it's the Big Arse Preview Show. And guess what? You have no X, so you have no Coach X. To quote the immortal Steve Martin as Lucky Day in the classic Mexican Western, no dough, no show. But of course, I would have to paraphrase it and replace it with the word dough with X. So you made your bed, Tear Bear, and you're going to have to lay in it and wash your sheets. Grant, you're still cool.
Oh, thanks,
now,
man.
I do want to put out the fact that when we were picking where the banner was going, Grant specifically said he wanted that banner. He did not want to be associated with Coach X in any way.
Thing of like masking tape.
That's what I was actually going to do. Yeah. I might edit that out. That's what I was going to do for the first week. I'm going to have Coach X just wrote there right there.
There you go.
Yeah, he felt the guy felt bad. I'm like, no, we don't care, dude. I think it's funny. He ended up not charging me for it, so I don't care. Anyway, all right. So that is Coach X. Now that he's done, before we begin this, and you and I have been kind of talking about this in the toughest region, in the toughest district, and the Coaches Changing show. I think one of the things, whether it be 4A, 2A, or 3A, and I'm not saying there's not favorites. Carthage, of course, is a heavy favorite in 4A Division 2. I think Gunner is still a heavy favorite in their division. Munster coming back with everybody. Shiner coming back with everybody. A lot of people think we're going to see them in a rematch of the state championship in 2A. But my overall impression is this is one of the most spread out anybody could win from 4A Division 1 all the way to 2A Division 2, maybe since we've been doing these shows.
Yeah. And for the most part, each region has 1 or 2 heavy hitters.
Yes, but no, I don't even think Carthage is at that. They are so unbeatable that if they lose, people will be shocked this year.
I don't know. I kind of go back to week 1 when we were out in Carthage last year and seeing them against Kilgore. And we kind of had that thought, man, that, here we go. unbeatable Carthage. Just go down and watch them. And then, they had some injuries, and Kilgore was just that good defensively, especially that night that it happened. So I'm gonna reserve judgment on Carthage until we get down week 1 in Kilgore and see that rematch. And then
Let's go ahead
after our week 1 football trip, week 2 show, I'll have a little bit more of an opinion on Carthage. Right now, I'd be very shocked to see Carthage lose.
I don't know, man. I
but,
go back
we'll just have to see.
And again, I think I'd said this either on the toughest region or maybe it was the toughest district show, that my opinion on that isn't because Carthage has taken a step back by any stretch. I just think teams in 4A Division II have taken a step forward. I think that they're getting closer to them. But we'll talk about 4A Division II when we get there. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to start doing it. We're going to be breaking down every district, every playoff team, our region picks, our semifinal picks, and our state championship picks right here on New Regard Plus. State championship, or Big Arse, right here on New Regard Plus, Big Arse Preview Show. Hey, Coach, are you ready to elevate your locker room experience? Well, at H&H Locker Solutions, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality lockers at the lowest cost in the Southeast. As a coach-owned business based in Alabama, we understand the needs of the coaches and the players alike. Our mission is to improve your locker room and streamline your process, and we're coming to Texas. Did you know we offer a free locker program? That's right. We ship all across the USA, ensuring you get the best solutions tailored just for you and your program. Want to learn more? Drop a comment or give Coach Harris, a.k.a. Ty, a call at 256-458-4427, and let's take your locker room to the next level. All right, Terry, good win back here. Something like the Sideline, the Class 2A Division II Big Arse Preview Show. We're going to pick every playoff team, District 1 to District 16. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll give you our region champions, our state semifinals, and our state championship. Now, this is one of those that, I think most years, it seems cut and dry. Munster, who won state, they returned the house. Shiner, who they beat in state in a great game, one of the best games of the state championship, they returned the house. And normally, okay, those two are back. But I'm telling you what, man, 2A Division II this year is extremely deep.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of teams that are going to say not so fast to Munster and Shiner, right?
Fast, my friend. By the way,
now that it won't be Munster and Shiner again, but there's a lot of variables that make it possible where it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's one of those years where, and I think last year it was as deep. Well, it just shows you how good Munster and Shiner were to get to where they were. And again, I think one of the best state championship games that we've seen over the last few years. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to start in District 1. We're going to pick the playoff teams, and we'll go all the way through to District 16. So we will simply start with, go ahead and list this. Wait.
Yeah, District
I do have the right one. I want to make sure I had the right one up. Go ahead. District 1, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, District 1, 2A Division 2, District 1. I've got, obviously, this is no surprise here. I've got Groover winning this district. Briggs Satterfield at quarterback returns from a big year last year, throwing over almost 3,000 yards. And then the receiver Butler, what was his name? Brooke Butler.
Hang on, let me get there.
Yeah, it's coming back. So yeah, and the defense should be pretty solid for Groover, the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Brock Butler.
Brock Butler.
And Nick Shepard, another really good wide receiver for them.
Yeah, he had almost 1,000 yards receiving, right? So yeah, I Groover is loaded, and obviously I think them and Stratford are the class of this district. I think Groover wins it. Stratford's second with their quarterback coming back.
Is it Leitelman?
Lenome.
Yeah,
is what I.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be good. They've got a good offensive line coming back, and then I think the big question is third and fourth. I got it. Farwell and Bovina fourth.
Yep, I agree with you. When you look at the Mustangs. Last year, they went 3-6. They went into district hot, and then they kind of struggled. Again, it's a small district, and you're playing the likes of Groover and Stratford. You're going to lose. They had a 3-game stretch where they gave up 145 points and only scored 0. they're going to have to figure out that consistency. But I mean, they returned 16 returning starters. I in a district that after Groover and Stratford, I think it kind of falls off. Vega, I don't think it's going to be competitive. So there we go. All right, let's move over to District 2. And what are your thoughts?
I've got Hell Center actually winning this district. I've got Sudan second, Morton third, and then Lockney fourth.
Yep, I agree. All right, District 3. This is where it gets kind of fun. You got Ropes, you got Seagraves, you got Plains. What are your thoughts?
In this one, I've got Seagraves winning the district. I've got Ropesville second, and then Sundown third, and fourth is kind of a toss-up to me. Maybe Tahoka, I'm guessing.
I have Ropes winning the district.
Okay.
I mean, last year 12-2. They turned 12 starters. They're ranked 10th in the Dave Campbell's. They've got a really good fullback in Caden Riker, really good defensive lineman who also plays tight end in Victor Sands. I think Ropes is one of the favorites of the region this year.
Okay.
All right.
I can see that. All right, let's go down to District 4, and I think it's all about Wink.
Yep.
Wink and Iran are the two big ones, right?
Yeah.
The Kemed Fasine kid, the running back from Wink, returns, ran for over 2,000 yards last year. The year before last, he ran for like 1,800 yards. The defense was a question last year. They had lost some returning starters. They were actually pretty good. Now they return like 8 or 9, something like that, and they have like 8 or 9 returning on the offensive side of the ball. The Wildcats are going to be a tough out this year.
But, this is one of those teams that a few years ago, I think it's 2019, they went 10-4, and everybody's like, oh, that's cute. They're going to go back down to normal because they had struggles for a while.
Yeah.
And then they were 9-4, and it's like, oh, well, that's cute. They're going to go back. And then they're 12-1, and then they're 10-2. And then last year was supposed to be a true step back. I can't remember that kid, that running back that just ran forever. And they went 11-2. And as you said, they come back with 16 returning starters. I mean, this is a team, I legitimately feel is the best team in the region. Last year, they lost to Ropes in a classic 21-14. But I think I kind of feel like in a solid region. And again, I like Ropes. I think I really think it's going to be Wink versus Ropes again in the region final. I kind of feel though that this year Wink might be a step above everybody else in this region.
Yeah, me too. Then finishing out, I like second, I like Iran, third, McCamey, and then fourth, El Dorado.
Yeah, the Braves, they do return 16 from a 10-2 team.
Iran's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and they got beat by Groover in that second round. Again, this is one of those where you've got to be, very at the very top because you don't want to have to play a Groover in the second round if you can help it.
Right.
But they have I don't know how to say that. Prather Sheenman, the quarterback. I watched a little bit of the highlights from him. I think it was when they lost to Wink last year, and I was really impressed with him. And they've got a really good, solid offensive line coming back. I do think they're a step below Wink, but that still puts them as a region favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, region threat, excuse me. All right, let's go over to Region 2 again. If you Region 1 championships, we'll do that in the next segment. All right, let's go over to Region 2. And man, Region 2 in Class 2A is so weird because growing up, Region 2 for me was always north to East Texas, and now Region 2 is basically central to West Texas.
Right.
And especially look at District 5, you've got Clarendon, Memphis, Quanah, Wellington, Wheeler, and Shamrock. What are your thoughts?
I like Wheeler actually winning the district here. I think they got enough coming back, especially on the defensive side of the ball. From a second-round playoff team last year, I like Wheeler first, Wellington second, though Wellington could win the district. I think you could throw, Noah Cantu coming back, the running back who just, ran for 600-700 yards last year. He's going to lead a pretty strong offense. But I like it. Wheeler 1, Wellington 2, Quanah 3, and then Shamrock 4.
I like the Wheeler pick. I know last year they got thumped by Munster in that second round, but it was Munster.
Munster.
They won state, folks. Them and Wellington had a hell of a matchup in district. Wellington ended up winning 23-14. But I like what Wheeler has coming back. I think, especially Jackson Graves. He plays defensive line. He also plays tight end, of course. In that offense, he's not going to catch 1,000 yards, but he's that kind of dude that when you need a first down on a 3rd and 8, they're going to go over the middle to him.
Yeah.
And he also is one heck of a defensive lineman. So I agree with you on those. All right, let's go over to District 6, and it's Windthorst. It's Monday. It's Seymour. It's Archer City, Electra, Haskell, and Petroleum. What are your thoughts?
Give me Windthorst
Yep.
to win this. I think they're the odds-on favorite, especially with Brock Belcher at quarterback. We saw what he did last year. Their offensive line with Adrian McQuarrie, that offensive line for Windthorst should be pretty salty, and the defense should be stout as well. I think Windthorst is one of the most well-rounded teams in Region 2.
Funny story about them last year. They go 11-2, and their 2 losses are to District 8 teams. They lost to Munster in the preseason. And them and Munster have built up a nice little non-district rivalry. One of the things, and again, we'll be doing a Munster coaches show this year. One of the things I really love about this region is like they're rivals, but all these coaches are really good friends.
Yeah.
And so it's just fun to watch how they, I grew up in a blood rival, Longview Marshall. That's fun too. But as I've gotten older, I always loved the friendly rivals. And that's one of the things about this region. It's full of those. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that their only 2 losses were to Munster and Collinsville, 2 District 8 teams. And to be honest with you, I have a feeling their only 2 losses this year will probably be that. And it might be in the same order. I think, again, this region, it feels kind of locked into where it was last year. I don't think we're going to have a ton of changes from last year to this year.
Right. All right. I've got Haskell number 2, Petrolia 3, and then Electra 4. And come on, Electra, I need you. I mean, Electra, I've always had a rooting interest in Electra.
For what? Just because?
Well, just growing up.
Yeah.
Electra, that one year in the 80s when they had, they were mythical to us, Electra. So I need them to just come on, man.
That's the one.
Make some noise.
That's the one thing. They won a state championship. They're only that year. I think it was 83, 84. I can't remember.
Probably 84.
I think it was 84. But that's the one thing that I like what we do. Like, you can find us on YouTube and you can know about the state. And that's cool. And I love that. And you love that. We love doing this. But I do miss that era where
you had to crack open the newspaper.
And all you knew was stats. You just knew stats. Like, these teams became
ranking.
Yes. Like, they're like when Jefferson played Cuero in 86 and they had Robert Strait. And I as a 9-year-old kid or 11-year-old kid, I was like, oh my God, Jefferson's going to get destroyed. This is Cuero. And then we go down there and Jefferson just beats the crap out of him. But it was fun having that mythical.
Yeah.
And as you said, you pick these random teams that you just start following for whatever reason.
Right.
But
you never could find anything other than their score.
Other than their score, and maybe in box score once every.
They became mythical.
Yes.
And that was my first state championship my dad ever took me to. Corrigan, Campton, and Groveton.
Corrigan, we were just talking about that in the last row.
Like, to me, we didn't have the internet, right? It was the early 80s. All I could was just read about them in the newspaper. So when we went, man, it was like 2 Titans that just were like ungodly good, Dude,
we were almost close. We were close. Electra won their state championship in 85.
85.
But that was one of those. It's weird. You and I have never even talked about this, but it's the same way. I literally found them. I don't even remember what game it was. Just found a newspaper article about them in the playoffs. I think it was like Boyd or Pilot Point. I think that was kind of an upset in that moment. And then they went and played Groveton. Talking about Groveton, man, Groveton back in the day. Yeah. I mean, I know there was the Rodney Thomas Groveton.
And the horses.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say, everybody always thinks of Rodney Thomas, but there was so many more for them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, we're
going to District 7 now.
Yeah, let's go to District 7. Albany, Miles, Roscoe. Is that a new one? Roscoe Collegiate? Is that a new school?
No, that's all. Roscoe's always been a preparatory.
Oh, I actually never knew that. Winners Cross.
Preparing them for windmill management.
Hey, we have our old boy from Sweetwater. That's what he does. He's been doing that for 20 years.
In that.
Oh, heck yeah. Reggie Ham. He makes a ton of money in there. All right. So what are your thoughts on this one? Albany again?
Albany all day long. Denny Faith's been there long enough, by God, that, they got the Heatley kid back, another Fairchild kid back. defense is bolstered by a lot of returning starters. This is just an Albany Lions team that has the pedigree now. They'll win this one going away. I think Roscoe takes second, Hamlin third, and then Miles fourth.
I agree with you exactly. And when we talk about why Munster and Shiner might not make it back, I know Munster won last year, but Albany has had Munster's number for multiple years, and that doesn't go away quickly. So that's, again, one of those reasons. But let's talk about Munster, because we're going to go into District 8, one of the most underrated districts in the classes that we cover. Everybody knows Collinsville and Munster, but people need to realize that Lindsay is a damn good team. We've talked about it multiple times. They're an option team, but they're kind of working in more passing and talking.
It all comes down to Lane Foster, that quarterback.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think he's special. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Austin Iglesias from Paradise.
Yeah.
He can run. He can do everything.
He doesn't have quite the quick.
No, he's a little bit bigger, a little bit stout. But,
if you can run option well, he's Jamel Holloway.
By the way, I love that option football is starting to come back.
I know.
When I was a kid, you and I are both UT fans, but in the 80s, I also loved watching Barry Switcher's Oklahoma.
And Nebraska.
Oklahoma
and Nebraska.
It was great because it was wishbone and then the stacked eye, the loaded eye, whatever you want to call what Nebraska did.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're not
go heavy on one side.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I've got it Munster, obviously. Kason Carney, a quarterback, Nolan Peel coming back at running back. But, I mean, look, man, Munster's loaded again. Loaded from a state championship team. Are there any weaknesses? You're going to have you're just going to have to do a deep dive in film to find any weaknesses with Munster. I got second. I've got Collinsville, their quarterback, and then Jenkins kid, and then third, Lindsay, and fourth, Santo.
Yeah, you bring up, is there any weaknesses? I think for Munster, depth might be for them a little bit of a weakness. Other than that, I mean, again, on paper, they're the prohibitive favorite. But they're also, again, and we'll talk about when we get to the region, they're also in a region with Albany. I just want people to remember what Albany is. They're not that far off from what they were. It's crazy how Albany's one of those teams that couldn't break through. And then when they finally did, they're just here now. And last year was a down year at 9-3. But anyway, I agree with yours exactly. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I have it Munster, Lindsay, and Collinsville. I think Lindsay pulls off the upset in the regular season, but we'll talk about them playing again because I think District 8 is going to have 3 teams playing for a while this year. All right, let's flip over to Region 3. Celeste. Think about this. Celeste is in Region 3 with Clarksville, Cumbie, Detroit, Linden, Kildare, Maud, and Sims Bowie. And a realignment ago, they were sitting with Munster and them in that district.
Right.
Celeste is one of those teams that's kind of in a weird spot.
North Texas is always that line and the smaller classes where they go Region 1, Region 2, or Region 3.
And especially now with the division. That's the one negative about divisions is it spreads out things kind of weirdly.
Yeah.
Celeste is having a hard time finding like a natural rival because they keep getting bounced around. But anyway, in this district, what do you think of District 9? What are your thoughts?
I think I like Clarksville in this one. Jonathan Morgan at quarterback threw for over 2,800 yards last year. Offensive line is going to be good. Solid defense coming back. I think this is time for the Clarksville Tigers to get back on top. Again, they came in like second, I think, in the district last year. I can't remember if they won it or not, and made it to the playoffs. So I think they win this district, and I think Maud second, Cumbie third, and then Sims Bowie fourth.
Look, let's be honest. This is not one of the strongest districts.
I think this district is kind of fodder for the by-district playoff.
1 through 4. Now, I will say this. I do think Celeste gets into the playoffs.
Oh, you do?
As the 4th spot. Yeah. Demetrius Rector, we've talked about the Rector brothers. They've been to 2 state championship games. It was with a Rector at quarterback. He's now been there, I think this is his 5th or 6th year. And he really took a program that had really fallen on really hard and has at least made them consistent. They have a really solid player in Brock Stewart and Ben Mackey. And again, I just think in this district, I mean, hell, as bad as Lyndon Kildare was last year, and that's one of the most epic stories where they go through like 4 coaches in 1 year, it wouldn't shock me if they're at least playing for a playoff spot at the end of the year, just because that's how weak this district is. You know what district isn't weak? That's District 10. I know there's
10's just a booger.
I know it's not as tough as it was last year, but it's still, I think it bounces. And I said this on the Toughest District show. I think this district bounces back to where we thought it was going to be
tougher this year than it's been in a long time. But I like Mart winning this district. I think they're going to get back to just, I don't know. It's a new regime over there. But I think Mart's got the speed. I think Bremont's got the speed, right? This is one of the fastest districts in the state. I like Mart and Bremont fighting it out for 1 and 2, and that's almost like a toss-up. Bremont might very well beat Mart.
I have Bremont winning this year.
I've got Mart beating Bremont for the district title, but it could go either way. I've got it Mart, Bremont, Goldthwaite, and then Chilton.
Okay, we only have the top split. And this is not a knock on Mart, because I even said when we did the Toughest District show, I think Mart making the coaching change might be a breath of fresh air. Nothing against the other coach. I mean, he's got the titles, but it felt like the last couple of years, and especially he went on Twitter and got kind of weird. And Mart just got weird last year. So I think a breath of fresh air is perfect for them. But man, Bremont, it was a 12-3 state semifinalist that returns 19 starters, including
that's tough to beat. Man.
Yes, including one of the greatest names in football.
Mart had their number last year.
Yeah, but 28-22.
Yeah.
But one of the great names in football, Tank Scott.
Yeah.
And his brother, Jaden Scott, is a sophomore linebacker. But this is one of those districts, man. They're in district play in September.
Yeah.
And it sucks that them and Mart play the first district game. I mean, it kind of sets the district, because this is a good district. I think other teams are going to be good, but no, I think Bremont and Mart are you might have to get
heads and shoulders.
We might have to. It's just weird going to a district game in September. All right, let's move over to District 11. We get more into East Texas, and I'll tell you what, this is going to be a fun one.
I have re-ranked this 1,000 times.
Well, we talked about that when we were doing this as one of the toughest districts. Like, this is a district. There's 4 teams that legitimately could win this district, and it makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Lovelady winning it. Second, I've got Overton. Third, I've got Mount Enterprise, and then fourth, Grapeland. And this one here, I don't know how it's going to end up. I could see Overton coming in fourth.
Yes.
And Lovelady coming in third. And, I don't know. But I think, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Overton last year, came out of not nowhere, because the year before they were 10.
You think we're going to be good last year?
I'm sorry, I meant 2 years ago they came out of nowhere. They were 2-9. Scotty Laymatz was named the head coach, and this is a program that has traditionally struggled. They've only had 26 playoffs.
Doormat status.
Yeah. Well, doormats at time in hell. And from 2018 to 2022, they were 2-7, 0-10, 0-7, 0-10, 2-9. And then 2023, boom, they take off. They're 10-2. And everybody's like, okay, what are they going to do last year? Well, last year, they repeated it by going 10-3. They got beat by Grapeland in a great playoff game, 31-23, after upsetting Mart in the second round of the playoffs. That's the earliest Mart had went out in like 8 years.
Yeah.
They still have a great quarterback in Rylan Holloman, Gabe Miller at linebacker. They have a solid offensive line, but I keep looking at Mount Enterprise, and I still feel that they have maybe the best running back in 2A Division II in Keegan Ash. Yeah, and then they also return 20.
Kicking ass.
I like that. Y'all need to make a shirt on that. We need to be trademarked. But I mean, this is a team that went 9-4 last year, lost to Bremont in the third round of the playoffs, 26-20, and they returned 20 starters. So I'm calling it now. I think Scott Ponder and Mount Enterprise pulls off the upset and wins the district. I think Lovelady's second. I think Overton's third, and I think Grapeland's fourth. And I think
I changed my pick to Mount Enterprise to match yours. I think Mount Enterprise does win the.
And by the way, they will sweep the by district round. Not only because they're good, but District 12 is also kind of a slog. But seriously, this is a really, really good district. And District 10 and District 11, I think, is what's going to decide this region. And honestly, it might be a situation where District 10 and District 11 are the only two districts that beat each other in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I don't think 9 or 12 can match up with either one of those.
Yeah, especially not 12. All right, I think, speaking of District 12, I like Deweyville, number 1, Elijah Milton coming back at running back. I think he's going to be pretty darn good. They got a pretty experienced offense over there. Defense has some holes to fill, but yeah, give me the Pirates of Deweyville to win the district, and then I think it's probably West Sabine, Evadale, and then West Hardin.
Yeah, I agree. And just to what we're talking about, because nothing's changed, this Deweyville team in the first round played Mount Enterprise, who was an unknown, and got destroyed 40-16. I mean, and it's nothing against District 12. You just have it tough. District 11 has grown up quickly all of a sudden.
Right.
All right, let's move over to Region 4 to finish out our district picks. District 13, what do you think?
Give me Granger, Caleb Holmbatch coming back at running back, leads a pretty experienced offense and even better defense. I think Granger's defense might win a lot of football games for them this year. So I like Granger 1, Burton 2, Somerville 3, and then Iola 4.
Yeah, I agree with you about Granger. I think Granger is a region threat. They lost to Shiner last year in the third round, 43-23, but it was back and forth early. And again, if they match up with Shiner, it's going to be ugly as well. But yeah, I like Granger to win this one going away.
All right. Go ahead. 14.
Yeah, District 14, Bracketville, Centerpoint Junction, La Pryor, Savannah, D'Hanis, Rock Springs. I've got Bracketville.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Junction wins the district, and then Bracketville is second, D'Hanis third, and La Pryor fourth.
If you talk about Junction, the Eagles on the year, they returned 13 from a 12-2 team. Their loss in the playoffs was again to Shiner. Their only two losses were to Mason and Shiner. Those are two very good losses, as they say. I like Bracketville. Last year they did go 7-4, but they returned 15 returning starters, including Troy Sandoval at quarterback. They also lost to Shiner. Everybody loses to Shiner in this region.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a battle between Junction and Bracketville and then everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, District 15.
District 15, obviously Shiner. I like Quincy Jones.
Does anybody even threaten them in this district?
Jarvis Williams, what?
Does anybody even threaten Shiner in this?
Fall City should have lost.
Yeah.
I don't think Fall City will beat Shiner, but I think Fall City can play with Shiner. But I like it Fall City 1, Shiner 2, and then after that it drops off to Yorktown 3, and then maybe Louise 4.
Yeah, no, I agree. And last year I think it was a really close game. I think Shiner won like 21-10 or something like that. But yeah, I agree. All right, District 16.
All right, District 16 is a little tougher. La Villa 1, I think. Agaduce 2, Woodsboro 3, and then maybe Ben Bolt 4.
That works for me. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to pick our region champions, our state semifinals, and our state championships.
Coach Surratt came in 2007, and really what's remarkable about him is how quickly he turned the program around.
The biggest challenge here was just to change the mindset. Obviously, we want a winning culture, but the first thing you got to instill is, toughness. It don't matter if it's volleyball, football, baseball.
He's put Carthage on the map to a great extent.
All right, Terry, we're going to keep that in. In Class 2A Division 2, we've given you our district picks. Now we give you our region winners, our state semifinals, and our state championship. So let's break it down. Region 1, again, I got to say this. We don't know if these two teams will actually play in the region championship. We don't do a whole playoff tree like brackets. We're just saying these are what we think are the two best teams, and one of them will advance. I have Wink beating Groover or over Groover. I have Wink representing Region 1.
I've got Groover beating Wink for the Region 1 final, taking on the winner of Munster and Albany.
I have Munster and Albany as well. I have Munster winning. I have Munster versus Wink in the state semifinal. You have Munster versus Groover. All right, move on.
Yeah, I have Munster beating Albany and playing Groover in the semifinal, and Munster beats Groover in the semifinal to go to the final.
All right, and who will they play? Well, in Region 3, I have Bremond versus Mount Enterprise. I know that's a shock, but I just think Mount Enterprise is way better than people realize. But at the end of the day, I think Bremond breaks through and they win the region.
Yeah, I've got Bremond over Mount Enterprise in Region 3, and then I've got Shiner over Fall City in Region 4. And I think Shiner beats Bremond in the semifinals to take on Munster. So we get the rematch of Munster and Shiner from last year.
It's funny you
liking that.
Well, I know it's funny.
Same one.
It's funny you and I. The only difference is Groover and Wink, and we both have them playing each other or being the best too. I have Munster. You
too.
You said it fast.
Again,
I still think of the two, Munster has a tougher path because of Albany in Region 2, and I think Albany is way closer to Albany 2 years ago than people realize. But at the end of the day, until Munster and Shiner are beat with as many returning not just returning starters, but returning key starters, until they're beat, it's going to be Munster and Shiner, and I think it'll go down to another classic game. But I have Munster winning.
All right,
good. All right, we're done, dude. That is it, my friend.
All right, dude.
You gonna be okay driving?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Terry Bennett back here on the Big Arse Preview Shows. I wanted to take this last segment to, first of all, thank everybody for allowing us to talk for 18 years of high school football. We've had a blast doing it, and we can't wait to hit year 20 here in a couple of years. We've got a couple things planned that we want to do. But also I want to take the time to ask if you'd consider joining our Patreon. And what we're going to be doing on our Patreon for the high school side this year is going to be real fun. First, we're going to have our sideline to sideline state rankings. They will start in week 3 of the season this year. They'll only go up on Patreon at first. We're also going to do instant reactions. So when we get back to the hotel from a game on a Friday night, Saturday night, or Thursday night, depending on which week it is, because like the first week we'll be at 2 games, one on Thursday and one on Friday. But we'll give us an instant recap about how we feel about the game we saw, and maybe some of the other scores we've seen that surprise us. Those will go up on Patreon only. We'll also have a Patreon question of the week, and we have a Discord chat. That's a pretty fun chat in and out of the season, actually, as we like to talk a little football, a little sports, and whatever else comes across. So please think about about joining our Patreon. It's for less than a cup of coffee. In fact, if you did the full high school season, August to December, it's going to cost less than it would to go get a fast food meal. So please consider helping us out, give you great extra content, and let's have a fun 2025 season. And until next week, which will be the regular season shows, I'm Terry Bennett. This has been Sideline to Sideline's Big Arse Preview Show right here on L4 Media.